All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Oh, hold on a second. My headphones are not on. Okay, let me test. Can I hear myself? Okay, there we go. All right. All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Nerdvake, thank you for the scritches for Crouton. These are nerd scritches, buddy. All right, so we're gonna have a credit roster run tonight, but we're gonna have a change of schedule, and we're gonna do an experiment. It's not a reverse; it's an adjustment though to what we did last night. So last night what we did was we had one league of high stealing. Everyone had 200 stealing, and we adjusted the speed of each team. So one team had all 50 speed, 100 speed, 150 speed, 200 speed. In the other league, everyone had 200 speed, and we adjusted their stealing. Now that one wasn't that interesting. If you had high speed, right? It did, like your the stealing rating impacted how many steals you had. So the high stealing team had the most steals. The low stealing team had the fewest steals, and the run score and the wins kind of went with that. That was kind of more of a control. The really interesting part of last night's experiment was the the league where everyone had high stealing, but we adjusted the speed of each team. So there's a very low speed team all the way up to very high speed team. So let's just put the results up from last night. I think that's a good starting point. I've got the pack giveaway form for tonight mostly done, and so we'll go ahead and put that up after I kind of walk you through what we did last night. Okay, so in last night's sim, okay, this is a high speed league. Every team has 80 speed, and then the highest steal team has 80 stealing. And then in the high speed league, the high steal team, everyone has 65 stealing. And we go all the way down to the lowest steal team that has 35 stealing. So it went 80, 65, 50, 35. And in this league, all that happened was the higher steal teams had more steals, the lower steal teams had fewer steals. Nothing surprising there. This side was very interesting. Every team in this league had 80 stealing, and their speed was what was changed. Now the results. The first part I was expecting because we had been told more than once by OOTP developments that speed and stealing are separate ratings. If you have high stealing, you're going to be good at stealing. If you have low stealing, you'll be bad at stealing. It doesn't matter what your speed is. But people don't seem to believe that because I keep hearing people say, oh, this guy has high stealing, but his speed is low, so I'm not going to take him. Or I'm not going to set his steal slider high. Well, it turns out the results do support what OTP developments told us. Is it under sortable stats? Yeah. If you look at all the teams in the high stealing league, right? So only the speed is different. They all had 88 to 80 or to 90% stealing success rate. Right? So it doesn't matter what your speed is. As long as you have high stealing, you will be very successful at stealing. But what did change was that the speed rating changed how many stolen bases there were. And since the success rate is the same, that means the attempts were being adjusted. So the teams with the highest speed had the most stolen base attempts. The teams with the low speed had the fewest attempts. But that's supposed to be controlled by your slider for stealing aggressiveness or your player's rating for stealing tendency or aggressiveness in the editor. All the players have 50 stealing tendency. All the teams are running sabermetric with the stealing slider set to the maximum. So from a ratings perspective, there is no reason for this. From a ratings and strategy perspective, there is no reason for this to happen. For there to be fewer steals by the lowest speed teams and more steals by highest speed teams. So what I'm going to do is set it up the same way tonight, where one league has high steal, or everyone has high stealing, both leagues. And in one league, the speed is going to vary, just like last night. But in the other sub-league, while everyone has high stealing, we're just going to change the stealing aggressiveness of the players. Right? So that would be in editor. In the profile, it's stealing tendency. In editor, it's stealing aggressiveness, right? It's set at 100 for this team. All the players in the complete average is set to 100. We're going to change that from 50, 150, 150, 250 to 200, sorry. And we're going to see, is the extent to which speed seems to be changing the number of stolen base attempts going to be more or less than the degree to which stealing aggressiveness changes stolen base attempts? Now, speed, again, is not supposed to change stealing aggressiveness. It used to, but now it's been disaggregated to speed and stealing aggressiveness. But right now, it looks like speed is still influencing stolen base attempts. So they catch up on chat. ACX said the AI adjusts for the stealing success being high or low. Right, but the AI isn't supposed to adjust because the stealing aggressiveness is set at 50 and the base stealing slider is maxed out for all the teams. So there shouldn't be fewer. If the AI is listening to the sliders, it shouldn't be doing, because all these teams have the sliders set to the maximum stealing. But I agree, that's what it seems to be happening. But that's not supposed to be what's supposed to happen, because we've set the sliders to max for all these teams, and all the players have the same stealing aggressiveness. So I want to see. I'm actually wondering if aggressiveness is doing anything, or if it's still being run by speed the way it used to be. So the context is in older versions of OOTP, stealing aggressiveness wasn't a separate thing, and speed was what determined stealing aggressiveness, and stealing was what determined stealing ability or success. Schizophrenic Psycho said it happened because there were probably... Well, no, so don't guess. Don't say probably more home runs. Like, we have the data. So there were surprisingly more home runs on the low speed teams, but it's within the. I would say it's within the noise. It's like 5%. but Schizophrenic Psycho in general, in our experiments, it's best not to speculate, because the whole reason we do these is so we don't have to speculate. Now, I will say, though, you're somewhat right in that the lower speed teams did have more home runs. But there were about 40 on a basis of about 700. So it's kind of on the edge of whether I would consider that noise or something potentially statistically significant. But at the same time, having more home runs should not change the stealing aggressiveness because there is no mechanism for that to happen. The stealing aggressiveness should be based on the player's stealing aggressiveness slider and our strategy slider. So whether or not there are more home runs, it shouldn't affect it based on the way the game works. And so we were wondering last night is whether or not aggressiveness has truly been disaggregated from speed, or speed is still controlling aggressiveness. Is also the weirdest part is that for low speed teams have more doubles and triples than the high speed team. You mean total? Because the high speed teams have more triples, which we also predicted. Right, because speed helps you extend doubles into triples. There was a list of things that we had been told by OTP developments that speed helps you with, and I believe there were. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing where I was going to look at. We're going to add double plays grounded into. Yeah, okay, so this tracks. What we were told was speed helps you extend doubles to triples, and it helps you avoid grounding into double plays. High speed has more triples. High speed has fewer ground into double plays. And we were specifically told speed does not influence stolen bases, which we confirmed. So the main reason we did this is to say, look, people who say, oh, is that right, AC Axel? I didn't remember that one from the list. Because the singles are pretty similar across the board. For some reason, just the high-speed team has about 100 more than the others. But it's 100 on the basis of 4,500. So it's less than 3%. So I would consider that noise. I didn't know the beating out singles one. I had been told the ground into double play, the triples, and I can't remember if there was another one or not. But I remember those two being like on the list, or maybe being the list. And being specifically told it does not impact stolen base percentage. So we were confirming this. I forgot that we could do the triples and stolen and the ground into double play when I came up with the experiment. But the triples we remembered in time for the pack giveaway form because it was included in that. But the ground into double play, I completely forgot about until today. And so that's why I wanted to add this back in, and it does seem to bear that out. But again, there's no reason for this to happen. The decline in stolen bases as speed goes down, unless, and I had forgotten about this until AZ Axel reminded me. In older versions of games, speed is what controlled how often a player stole. And when he reminded me of that, I was like, oh yeah, if that were true, if that were still true, this would make sense, but it's not supposed to be true. So now I'm fully expecting the league with the variable speed to do this again. What I'm really interested to see is the team with the variable aggressiveness. Does it also do this, or is it just flat? In which case, it's still speed that's controlling the aggressiveness. And so that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. This version is going to be kind of a control. We should expect it to do what it did last night. Never forget. I don't know what you did. Did we look at individual plays at different speeds? I mean, we look at the aggregate stats for the season. We don't look at individual plays. I don't even know like what plays would. I don't even know if there's a way to do that to look at individual plays. But anyway, I've got the pack giveaway form started. No, because the whole point was to look at the teams as an aggregate. Because the larger sample size is what makes it more statistically significant. So like looking at individual players kind of defeats the purpose. The only reason we had individual players last night was for the pack giveaway form. Like we always want to deal with as large of a sample size as possible to minimize the potential impact from RNG. Okay, so here's where on the form. All right, speed versus aggressive. So last night we tested the impact of varying speed on stealing and vice versa. So as expected, changing speed did not change the stolen base percentage of elite base stealers. An 80 steal player with 35 speed was as successful as an 80 steal player with 80 speed. However, we noticed an anomaly. Steal attempts increased as speed increases. This is not supposed to happen, as steal attempts should be driven by A, players' stealing aggressiveness rating, and B, stealing strategy slider. In this case, all players had 100 stealing aggressiveness, and all teams were running sabermetric with stealing set to the maximum, +5. Tonight we will be testing the impact of changing stealing aggressiveness, aka stealing tendency, on the player profile. Stealing aggressiveness was called an editor. From team to team. We will use the variable speed teams from last night as a control, experimental control. And expect that league's results to be similar to last night. Okay. So there'll be, instead of a stealing league and a speed league, now they're both stealing leagues. So the variable speed league will be the same as last night's high stealing league, with all players stealing ability set to 200. Then each 14 is other player's speed set to the same speed range, either 50 or 100. Okay, so now we have a variable aggressiveness league will also have all players stealing aggressiveness, aka stealing tendency, oh no, sorry, stealing, this is still, sorry, this is stealing rating, ability, set to 200, 1 to 250 scale. But they're stealing aggressiveness, aka stealing tendency, oh, sorry, but each of the four, yeah, sorry, each of the 4 teams will have their stealing aggressiveness okay. All right, so let's see. This will be the variable speed league. This will also be variable speed league. Oh, no, this is... I'm going to confuse myself, I can already tell. In the variable aggressiveness league, and this is... Okay. All right. I can already tell I'm going to mess this up at some point. Okay, this is the variable speed league. Which team will have the most stolen bases? The relative difference between the team with the most and fewest stolen bases in the variable speed league. This is again the variable speed league. Okay. And then this is the variable aggressiveness league. Okay. This is a variable aggressiveness again. Okay. This is high speed. High speed is always variable aggressiveness in this experiment. I could probably do a search and replace, but then I might lose track and mess up even worse. So, who is variable aggressiveness? So usually I will redeem those stitches as soon as I finish the form. I don't want to stop in the middle and then mess up. But thank you for the channel point redemption. I'll give Crouton a script as soon as we're done here. High stealing is variable speed. I got to keep telling myself that. And high speed is variable aggressiveness now. Okay, I think the question was that, and just as a reminder, it's an 810 game season, but for your questions, normalize everything for a 162 game season. So if you think someone's going to steal 100 bases in the regular season, don't put 500, put 100. It's in the form, and everyone answered that way last night, but I just want to make sure it's clear. Even though we're doing a 5x season for the experiment, put your guesses in terms of a 162 game season. So right here it says normalize your answers for a 160 game season instead of 810 game season. And I put some reminders in the questions too. All right, so I think that's done. Switch over to here. Let's publish this form. Okay, good luck, everybody. I'll go ahead and give Crouton those Z Grizzly scriptures now. Thank you, Z Grizzly. Here you go, buddy. Z Grizzly scriptures for you. Alright. Okay, I do need to refill my water, so let's see where we are on the next ad break. Next ads are coming in. Oh, they're starting soon, so I'm going to push 3 minutes ads right now, so then we won't get interrupted for a while. Won't let me do it. I think we're already in ads then. Dang it. Okay, well, I'm just going to put the BRB up then. I'll go get the water now. It just won't push off ads for as long as I would like to, but... All right, I think we're back from the ad break. So we're going to go ahead and start setting this up now. I'm wondering if it's actually going to be easier if I start with last night's sim, the quick start from last night. Because half the league will already be set up. I think that's what we're going to do. We'll do the quick start from last night. Okay, 5A is the one that has the sabermetrics set up. So this will be experiment OOTP27, episode 647. And this is speed aggressiveness in a 5X season. And I'm actually going to copy. Oh, will it let me copy this? I'll screenshot it at least. Okay. Okay, we're not going to take over a specific team. Commissioner mode cannot be fired. And we have to set up the mailbox. Is one of the questions form exactly the same? Which questions? I'll take a look at it. Will be the regular season total based on a player who leaves variable aggressiveness. Okay, let me see if I can find that. I mean, I already found a problem. One of the questions still says high speed league. It's supposed to say variable aggressiveness league, but the choices are still right. So I think that one's less of a problem. But let me find the one you're talking about. The regular season stolen base total. Oh, you're right. They both say variable. They're supposed to say variable aggressiveness. Which has been coming first, aggressiveness or variable speed? Variable speed, I think, is coming first. Yeah, variable speed has been coming first. All right, let me close the form for a second. Thank you, Donna, for catching that. Yeah, variable speed should be the first one. Variable aggressiveness should be the second one. Okay, for those of you already submitted, if you want to resubmit, I will take your later submission. Okay, the changes made. I've saved the form. If you, I don't know. You might need to refresh. In which case, you'll probably lose your guesses. I apologize for that. And the two of you who've already submitted, you can resubmit. Papa Brave, the all the information is in the top of the pack giveaway form. I can't really go over all of it again because I'm trying to get things set up to run the sim, but it's all in the top of the form. Nerdovation knew what I meant, so he's okay. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Manager options. Gonna do this. Okay, now let's see what we got here in terms of the league. One of the sub-leagues we can just rename. The high steel league just becomes the variable speed league. How do I change the name here, the ale? Oh, you know what? Maybe that I change under leagues and teams. Yeah, variable. And we don't need a division. There's just one division. Then sub-league 2 becomes the variable aggressiveness league, VA. So then when I go back here, variable speed league, variable aggressive leagues. Okay, perfect. So then oh yeah, I also wanted to number these so they show up in order. See, now they're out of order because now they're in alphabetical order. Well, maybe I'll just leave it. I'll just adjust to the order. So this will be high aggressiveness. This will be low aggressiveness. Very high aggressiveness. I'm just going to... Well, it's too late now. I was going to copy the word... Oh, wait. I think I did copy it. No, I copied something else since then. Very low aggressiveness. Maybe I should change the names here too to match. Oh, but they're named this way in the form. That's why I use that. That's why it was. Okay. Okay, so now the teams are renamed. So these teams have to be changed. It's all the aggressiveness teams have to be changed. So high aggressiveness. So it's going to be 100, 150, 200. This team, 100, 150, 200. Right, because they all have high stealing. This one has high aggressiveness. And this should have regular running speed. Okay, so that team's done. Low aggressiveness. So this team should be 100, 100, 200. Okay, that team is done. Very high aggressiveness. Okay, so 100, 200, 200. Okay. And then very low aggressiveness. So that should be 100, 50, 200. Okay. Now let me make sure all these teams have the 200 stealing. Yep, they can all steal. Yep, same steal. Oh, hold on. Crouton's call. When he has those coughing fits, I have to make sure he's laying down so he doesn't do that passing out thing. It's a pretty easy fix once we figure it out, but we have to make sure we do it. Alright. Yep, they've got 80 steel. They have 80 steel. They have 80 steel. Steel tendency, 35. Yep, looks like they're all set up right. Okay, so let me save this. Save as a quick start. All right, so in the variable aggressiveness league, all players set to 200 stealing. Teams have either all 50, 100, 150, or 200 stealing aggressiveness. All right, save that. Wasted height. Thank you for the scritches for Crouton. Hey, buddy. Wasted height scritches for you. Good boy. Good boy. Man, I didn't even have a brush with me today. I was at my girls' softball practice, and then the younger kids' softball practice, and then the older kids' softball game. And Crouton comes with us, and I didn't have a brush, but I was just kind of like petting him and like giving him scritches, and just like tons of fur just coming out. I guess he's getting ready for summer because he's like shedding like crazy. And he's not even that like furry of a dog, but it was like there was a big ring of fur around where he was sitting. All right, so I think we're ready to go. Let's see. I think Z Grizzly, I'm gonna ignore your earlier submission. Is that right? And go with your later one. Yeah, I just want to make sure you didn't get screwed over by the two questions having the same wording when they should have been two different questions. So yeah, so I'm gonna hide your earlier submission. Okay, I think we're all good. All right, so let's do this. Since I wasn't able to run ads before, we are going to get interrupted again pretty soon. So I'm going to run 3 minutes of ads now. This will be your 3-minute warning to submit your responses. And yeah, I don't need to go refill my water or anything, but I mostly don't want to be interrupted by ads during the sim. So we'll run 3 minutes of ads here. But good luck everybody at the pack giveaway. All right, looks like we are back from the ad break. We've got now an hour for the next break, so we should have plenty of time to get the sim in. Depending on when we finish the sim, I may or may not push another set of ads so that we don't get interrupted during the pack giveaway scoring part, which is a lot of fun. Papa, I didn't. Okay, so Papa Ray says if we ask our parents if they scratches, they start dancing and lowering their head and bluffing their feathers so they can get scratches. So are scratches for your parrots like scritches for crouton, where it's just like scratches behind their ears and on their head? I didn't know parrots liked scratches. Like, I guess all animals like that then. Well, maybe not fish. I don't know if I don't know if fish like scritches. But I definitely didn't realize parrots did. Well, learn something new. All right, is anyone else still working on their pack giveaway form? I'll give them a little extra time while I resize some columns here and hide a couple columns. Secrets these cats are picky about their scritches. I think we can look at the first few. I don't want to look at any of the numerical ones, but we'll look at the first few. They like their feathers preened. Okay, interesting. I just thought they did that, like doing that themselves. I didn't know they liked having it done for them. Huh. All right, I'm not seeing any objections to closing the form, so I'm going to go ahead and close the form. I don't know if Nerd of America is making that up. A catfish's taste buds are its skin, so if you give them scritches, they taste it. Wasted Heights said they were watching YouTube not too long ago, and apparently certain types of fish enjoy being petted. Oh, that's interesting. I never would have guessed that. All right, we're going to close the form. Anyone else? Anyone in chat working on the form? Otherwise, I'm going to close it. I thought AZ Axel might stick around for another stream tonight, but I don't have a submission from AZ Axel. All right, anyone else? Anyone else? All right, I'm going to close the form. I think we can look at the first three guesses, and then we get to some numerical guesses, which I want to save for the pack giveaway. Okay, so here we go. First three. In the variable speed league, which team will score the most runs? Highest speed had the most guesses. Again, oh, sorry, there are 6 of you competing tonight. Good luck, everybody. In the variable aggressiveness league, which team will score the most runs? Highest aggressiveness will score the most runs. One guess for low aggressiveness. That's interesting. In the variable speed league, everyone thinks highest speed team will have the most hold. And that would be true if things hold from last night. All right, so anyone who was here last night or heard me introduce tonight's experiment this earlier will have an advantage on that one question for sure. All right, now we can see what the preseason prediction might yield. So I did save this, right? Save. And I saved the quick start too? Yeah, I saved the quick start. And we do have the 810 game schedule. Yeah, we do. All right. So let's sim to opening day. And that'll give us the preseason predictions. All right, let's see what the preseason predictions are. MLB reports and info, preseason predictions. All right, in the variable speed league, highest speed, most runs. Now these margins are pretty small. There is a bit of a gap from high speed to actually lowest speed. Okay, we'll have fewer runs but more wins. Again, this is why we don't use wins and losses. There's too many things that can confound wins and losses. But the stolen base totals. Okay, this says lowest speed is actually going to have more steals than low speed. Unless I didn't set that up properly. Lowest speed has lowest speed. Yeah. Low speed should have 50 speed. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's set up right. The AI thinks for some reason lowest speed is going to have more steals than low speed, which would be different from last night. Everything else you can see is pretty consistent. Now, is this coincidence that the two low and lowest speed teams have higher ERA? It's gotta be, right? There's no. Oh, unless it impacts the fielding. But again, it shouldn't. Because range is supposed to also be different from speed. Okay, in the variable aggressiveness league, it looks like the most steals are predicted for the low aggressiveness team. Okay, where is AZ Axel? AZ Axel, I think we're onto something. I think the game is not looking at aggressiveness for stealing. It's still looking at speed, as if it's like OOTP 10 or 20 or whatever before the split. Where they disaggregated speed from aggressiveness. There's very little difference here in these stolen base numbers. Again, this is projection. We're going to run a 5x season just to see. But these projections are interesting. All right, let's go to the sim. We'll do a year at a time. Right, in the variable aggressiveness league, you would expect the stolen base leaders to all come from the very high aggressiveness team. But they are not. In the variable speed league, they are all from the very high speed team. Oh, high speed just popped in there. But you got very low aggressiveness, for example, leading the aggressiveness league. All right, we just passed a regular season's worth of games. It really does seem like speed is still controlling stealing aggressiveness instead of aggressiveness. That's a really wild finding. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. We should wait to see what the data says. But I'm looking at the data here. I mean, just looking at the leaderboard, this should all be high aggressive. It said there's a very low and a low, one steal behind high aggressiveness, and very high aggressiveness is not in the top three. That just seems wrong. Aggressiveness seems to have no bearing on how many steals. It looks like it's still old school OOTP, AZ Axel, where speed is the controlling factor. Because if you look at the leaderboard on the variable aggressiveness league, it's high aggressiveness, low aggressiveness, very low aggressiveness. So they went through the trouble of creating a new attribute called stealing aggressiveness, but it still looks like it's pointing at speed to determine how often it steals. Exactly. When you first brought that up last night, I was like, it can't be, but it seemed like it was. I thought worst case they would both be controlling like steals. I did not expect aggressiveness to not be working and speed instead to still be working. I know, right? It does make you wonder what else isn't working right. Man. Yeah, it's all very high speed in the other sub league dominating the leaderboard. It's very low aggressiveness, high aggressiveness, and low aggressiveness on the aggressiveness leaderboard. All right, we're at January 2027. I think the season ends in August. Yeah, August 2027. So we're almost at the end of the regular season. Let's take a look though. Right here you only see the top three in the leaderboard, but in terms of wins and losses, it is highest speed, then low speed, high speed, low speed. So no real rhyme or reason except that there's a pretty big gap from. Oh, you know what? Low speed and high speed are only separated by a game, so it could still be ranked. The win losses could still correlate with the speed. It's just that there's not much distinction once you get past highest speed. But in the aggressiveness, low aggressiveness and high aggressiveness are leading, with highest aggressiveness third and lowest aggressiveness fourth. But the first two are in a dead heat for first. So I have no idea what to. But again, we don't use win loss anymore for this reason because there are too many things that can confound wins or losses. So this is just kind of for fun. The data at the end is what we're really looking for. So don't get too into the wins and losses. There's a reason we stopped using wins and losses. And even when the wins and losses were muddy like this, when we looked at the underlying runs scored or runs allowed data, it was still very clear in most cases. So yeah, this stolen base leaderboard though in the variable aggressiveness league is cracking me up though. Like it does not matter what your aggressiveness is. So if that is true, then all the team stolen base totals or stolen base attempt totals should be similar. Yeah, smiley face Jane, that is kind of a theme. It just seems weird that they would go through the trouble of creating a new rating and then like forget to plug it in, essentially. Alright, I think we have one more game to go before the season ends. Okay. highest. So in the variable speed league, highest speed, high speed, lowest speed, lowest speed. So the wins and losses kind of are stack ranked. Aggressiveness is kind of all over the place, but let's finish the regular postseason and then we'll look at the data. Yeah, it could be a very simple thing in the code, but like the for the layperson, the example is like they created this great thing and then just didn't plug it in. They just left it on the counter. All right, let's see. Let's do the postseason. High speed, and then low. The two middle aggressiveness, low and high, make it to the postseason. Now, if this were actually doing something, you could say that like not being extreme is better, right? But I think this is just flat. I actually don't think there's anything going on here. But we'll see. Next playoff round. Highest speed. No, high speed and low aggressiveness advance to the final. And high speed does win. Okay, let's look at the stats. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. The number of steals is not varying by aggressiveness. they're all within they're all within 70 of each other. 70 out of 2100. That's wild. So like point a 3.33% difference, a 3% difference basically between the teams, and the low aggressors had the most steals. So instead of filtering, what if we just add short league? Oh yeah, we've tried this yesterday, right? It won't let us do the sub league. Oh wait, no, here's sub league. Let's try that. Oh yeah, it does let us do that. Okay. So the stolen base percentages are all pretty much the same. There's one kind of, I mean, it's not even an outlier because it's only a couple of percentage points away. But there's one team at 86.5%. And they are the lowest aggressiveness team. Oh, Nureki, I hope you end up being okay out there. So yeah, all these stolen base numbers are flat. Can we get stolen base attempts? No, you can get stolen bases and caught stealing, but not attempts. We could probably eyeball the attempts though, right? Oh wait, why are stolen base over here and caught stealing's way over here? Yeah, but I want to be able to sort and like look at them next to each other secretly. I don't want to have to do the math every time. All right. Well, let's see. 2168 and 338. So are they all around 2500? No, they're not going to be. But they're close. They're within 70, right? So in fact, the lowest aggressiveness team looks like they have the most attempts. But I mean, it's all within the noise. They're all within a couple points, percentage points. Now, did we get a repeat from last night? Highest speed had the most steals. High speed had the second most steals. Low speed had the third most steals, and lowest speed. Okay, it looks like speed is controlling aggressiveness, and aggressiveness is doing nothing. Unbelievable. Wow. This is just crazy. I think it's official. I do have to put in a bug report now. This is, yeah. I don't know what to say. I feel bad though because they went through the trouble of creating this separate attribute, but it doesn't look like it's plugged in. Okay, unbelievable might not be the word for it. Unfortunate is a better word, Claydog. You're right. I mean, that's the unfortunate part. The most unfortunate part is they actually went to the trouble of building the attribute. But it looks like the old attribute is still plugged in as far as controlling stolen base attempts. Yeah, Dead Ball has, well, Dead Ball also has more caught stealing too, so yeah. Well, also, yeah, you're right, because people look for speed during Dead Ball. Oh, that would also say why we have such high caught stealings in Dead Ball too. All those high speed players are just stealing like crazy. So is OTP? Oh, that's an interesting point. Is OTP26 also broken? Well, when I did this in 26, I was only looking to prove or to show people that speed doesn't impact stealing. So I was only looking at the stolen base percentage. So it could have been there. The problem is I lost some of my saves when I moved to this PC. So that's one of the saves I think I don't have anymore. And I lost even more of my 25 saves. I know the data's gone. The quick start might still be there though. Okay, that I hadn't thought about that. If the quick start is still there, we could always do a 26 experiment. Man, I can't believe it. I thought it was going to show that they both controlled aggressiveness, but I mean, I kind of knew this could be the case because speed was so strong in controlling stealing, but I thought for sure they would both be plugged in. I didn't think aggressiveness not be plugged in at all. All right, let's give some packs away. All right. Again, there are 6 of you tonight. Good luck. And it is just point based, so it's not survivor style, so you can get questions wrong. There's no problem. Okay, in the hey Skip 410, welcome in. Good to see you. In the variable speed league, which team will score the most runs? It was... Oh, wait. Score the most runs. All right. In the variable speed, the most runs were scored by... yeah, the high speed. Because they have good base stealers and they stole more. Probably contributed to that. So score the most runs, highest speed team. In the variable aggressive league, which team would score the most runs? This is just going to be noise because, yeah. Yeah, look at that. It is the high aggressiveness team, though. Even though they didn't steal more bases or try to steal more bases. I wonder what's behind that or if it's just RNG. It's probably just RNG. Alright. Oh, yeah, because it's not even the very high aggressiveness team. It's just the aggressive team. So high aggressive. No one got a point in that one. Yeah, anything with the variable aggressiveness is going to be basically like a wheel spin. Because there's no predicting it if there's no correlation, right? Okay, in the variable speed lead, which team will have the most stolen bases? That was the very high speed, so highest speed. So everyone got a point there. Everyone was paying attention. That was like the biggest gimme question, I think. Alright, what will be the difference between the fewest and most in the variable speed? And this number is huge. So, let me get the calculator up here. Variable speed. Okay, stolen bases. 2956 minus 2050 divided by 2050. Oh, sorry. I have to enter first, then divided by 2050. 44% is the difference. 19% away is... Oh, no. 17% away is nerd. 21%... Oh, no, no. Oh, based Kiffle is almost right there. 39%. Alright, so based Kiffle gets a solo point there. Alright. In the variable speed league, which team will have the best stolen base percentage? Okay, this is all going to be very close. Because they're all good at stealing bases. Okay, the variable speed league. The best was not highest speed, but high speed. And one person gets high speed. No, two people did. Nerd of Anarchy and Papa Brave. How? How did you guess that they would have the highest? I call shenanigans. How could you even guess that? Alright, what will be the percentage difference between the best and worst percentage? It is a percentage of percentages, but that's okay. Okay, the best was 89.2. The worst was 88.1. Wow, it's even tighter than last night. No one clipped that. 1.2%. 1.2% is the difference. 1.2%. Nerd gets 3%. Oh, you know, I'm going to put the correct answers here. 44%. 1.2%. Okay. In the variable aggressiveness league, which team will have the most stolen bases? Which random number? 2178. The low aggressiveness team. The low aggressive team had the most stolen bases. No one guessed that correctly. Oh, wait a second. Was that supposed to say variable? Oh, sorry. This is a variable. Okay. I have this question twice too. No, wait. Oh, this is stolen bases. But the choices are all wrong. They're supposed to say high. Okay, so I probably would have invalidated this question anyway. I messed that question up. Did I do it right here? Okay, variable aggressiveness, fewest and most stolen bases. Okay, this one's right. This one's correct. So in the variable aggressiveness, wait, hold on. This was supposed to say, these choices was to say aggressiveness. The question was right, the choices were wrong. Okay, stolen bases in the aggressiveness league. 2178 is the most. The fewest is 2108. Divided by 2108. 3.3%. So Z Grizzly is right on that wheel spin. So if you have high speed, very high speed, or very low speed, the difference is 44% in stolen bases. If you have very high aggressiveness or very low aggressiveness, the difference is 3.3%. Clearly, speed is controlling the attempts, not aggressiveness. Okay, in the variable aggressiveness, which team will have the highest stolen base percentage? 88.4 by the highest aggressiveness team. The highest aggressiveness team. Highest stealing aggressiveness. Highest. So Dono, Z Grizzly, and Based Kiffle. Yeah, think of the implications of this. Especially in eras where people are taking high speed. They're inadvertently taking high stealing aggressiveness too. Unless they use their sliders to correct for it. No, but I used sliders in this and it didn't help. In the variable speed league, all the sliders was at the same, but the speed is still creating differences. So the sliders are not working. They're being overrun by the speed, by the aggressiveness. Right? Because even if speed were controlling, shouldn't the slider make all of them equal? But it didn't. So the speed is controlling more than the slider is. All right, what will be the percentage difference between the best and worst stolen base? Oh, this is tiny. This is going to be tiny. Okay, the high was 88.4. Now this one will be a little bigger than the other league because we do have that one low outlier of 86.5%. So it's 2.2% instead of 1.2%. But the stolen base percentages, it doesn't matter how aggressive you are if your base stealers are elite. Not close, but closest is Dono with 20%. This really is just like a intricate and time-consuming wheel spin. because right now Nerd has 3, Dono has 4, Zegrosley has 4, Papa Brave has 3, and Base Skiffle has 3. You guys all have this about the same number because it's a wheel spin. Okay, the regular season stolen base total in the variable speed league. 338 divided by 6. Oh, sorry, divided by 5. So 67 and a half. 67 and a half. Is 61 the closest? Yeah, 61's the closest. Based Kiffle is the closest there. Alright. And same question in the variable aggressiveness league. $274 or 54.8, basically 55. Base Kiffle gets it again. So this was 55. This was 65. Right? Because aggressiveness doesn't do anything. They have fewer steals because high speed does cause more attempts. They have a higher number for their stolen base leader. Okay, the league-wide stolen base percentage in the variable league. How did we do this last night? I think we went here. Yeah, we just did this. We had to calculate it though. So 8608 plus. Oh wait, which one are we asking for first? The variable speed league. So this one, okay. So it's 9701 plus 1247. 1 over x that. And then times 9701. 88.6% is the league-wide. Because everyone's good at it. Who's closest to 88.6? Based Kiffle. Actually, Base Kiffle's starting to run away with it, I think. Alright, league-wide stolen base for the various variable aggressiveness league. Again, everyone in this league's good at it. 8608 plus 1203. 1 over x that, and then times 8608. 87.7%. Nerve Anarchy, very close with an 88% guess. Okay, as of right now, it's 4 for Nerd, 4 for Dono, 4 for Z Grizzly, 3 for Papa Brave, and 6 for Based Kiffle. Wow. Okay, how many triples by the league leader in triples? So let's go to league leaders. And this is, the first is for the variable speed league. $34, so about just under 7. So Z Grizzly's going to be the closest there. And then how many in the variable aggressiveness league. Now this shouldn't differ at all. But it does. 17. So just over just under 3.4, right? 3.4. Z Grizzly. Because this league didn't have any 200 speed players like we did last night. So I think everyone overshot because of that. Everyone but Z Grizzly. Okay, so Nerdaraki has 4 points. Dono has 4 points. Z Grizzly with 6 points. Papa Brave with 3 points. And Based Kiffle with 6 points. But there is a tie, but the final tiebreaker is whoever got the most recent question right. And Z Grizzly got the last question right. So with that tiebreaker, Z Grizzly gets first place and Based Kiffle gets second place. So 7 packs to Z Grizzly, 3 packs to Based Kiffle. Congratulations. Good job, though, by everybody. I mean, considering it's a random wheel. Do I say good job or do I say random wheel? Z Grizzly nailed the triples question. That's what it came down to, really. Z Grizzly nailed the triples questions. And was not fooled, right? None of these ratings should have affected triples, so 6 was a pretty good guess. So you just remember that from last night. There you go. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Because in the high steel league, well, in both leagues had someone with 200 speed, right? The high speed league had everyone with 200 speed. The high stealing league had at least one team with all 200 speed. So. But because the base number of triples is so low, it didn't boost it by that much. There were clearly differences from team to team. No, it does, but there are so few triples to begin with, Smiley Face Jam, that the league leader doesn't have like 50. But there's a very clear. It went from like 300 down to like double digits. But it's 300 for an entire team of 14 batters, so um, it didn't lead to like a 30 triple player like a dead ball thing does. All right. Yeah, I still. Oh man, this is. I still can't believe this data. It's so funny. Yeah, the steals are definitely driven by this speed. Again, number of steals, number of attempts, success rate, speed. It does not matter. If you have 200 stealing rating, 80 stealing rating, you're gonna steal at an 87 to 89% success rate, no matter what your speed is. But for some reason, the game is sending those base steals with higher speed more than those with lower speed, and the why is probably because it used to be set up that way. It was not supposed to be set up that way anymore because now we have this aggressiveness rating, except that rating does not seem to be in use, which is wild. That is a crazy finding. Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you about this. And look, it's confirmed. We've done it twice with an 810 game season. And both times, the highest speed team stole the most bases. The lowest speed team stole the fewest, but they stole at the same high rate, success rate. There were a couple of stories away from finding that Babbitt doesn't impact Babbitt. Yes, exactly. or no, HRA determines Babbitt. Wow. Yeah. Again, it's unfortunate because they went through the trouble of creating the rating and disaggregating it from speed, but they left speed plugged in as the driving force for stolen base attempts. So here's what I wonder though: if I report it as a bug, and then let's say it's corrected, what does that do to, like, let's say our dead ball leaderboard? Right, where people do tend to look for speed, they look for gap in speed, and like, does it invalidate the first few runs, or does it give an unfair advantage to the later runs? Well, I'm glad your tornado risk has passed, Nerd of Anarchy. Yeah, I don't. Should we, like, postpone dead ball runs until after we get a fix? I think it'll mostly affect dead ball because I don't know. Do any of you look for speed in regular creator roster? But yeah, Dono brings up a good point that affects way more people. I'm worried about creator roster. Dono's worried about everyone who plays tournaments. I'm worried about 5 people. Yeah, it would definitely affect 5L data, right? Because 5L is the place where people look for speed. No, Dono, I was just joking because, like, I was so focused on my little corner of the universe and not even thinking about, like, everybody who plays tournaments. Yeah, I don't know. I worry that I've just opened a huge can of worms, but it's open now, so I feel like I have to report it. I mean, there's no universe where it makes sense to not report this, right? I feel like I have to report it. I don't know. I just for the fidelity of historic Sims, I feel like it has to be corrected. I'm with Smiley Face Jim though. I wonder what else isn't plugged in. What else are we gonna find? The funny thing is, I wasn't even looking for this. I was just trying to show people stop doing the I'm not gonna take this player or I'm not gonna steal this player because the stealing is high but the speed is low. Like, I kept telling people, no, stealing is stealing, speed is speed. Like, one has nothing to do with the other. Which in that narrow view was correct. But I was incorrect that speed has nothing to do with stealing. Speed has nothing to do with stealing success. That's the part that I was trying to prove. Which we did. But we unexpectedly found that speed does impact stealing attempts. So yeah. So I'll try to find the cleanest data views, and I will report it. I'll report it in the Discord. I don't think it'll impact the game as much as like the the first base assists. But yeah. More like this is what. Yeah, except when they created it, they were very specific on what it's supposed to do. They said, okay, now speed affects doubles to triples, beating out double plays. And then AZ Axel said that he thought it was also supposed to affect infield singles. And that stealing aggressiveness was stealing aggressiveness. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I have to report it. I'll report it. I'm going to report it. It's a. Hopefully, it's just an easy thing where they just like plug this thing over here and unplug this thing over there. But yeah, I bet if that wasn't the case, Claydog would not have won those two PTCSs on the same day. Claydog rode this bug to two PTCS victories in a day. All right. Well, that was an interesting sim. Yeah, and I don't think I would have thought to do this one unless AZ Axel had reminded me that speed used to control aggressiveness. So as soon as he's reminded me of that, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And then I was like, so what is aggressiveness doing? That became the natural question, I thought. And it turns out it does not appear to be doing anything when you look at this data. At least not related to stolen bases. That'd be funny if like aggressiveness is affecting intentional walks or something. Completely unrelated. Well, I mean, I think that because that's what I run my OBS on, Claydog. My old 1990s computer is why Nerd of Anarchy has more consecutive stream views than I have streams. Well, it's better than all the punch cards it used to take up, Claydog. All right, let's go ahead and rate Ophi. That was an interesting experiment. I think the series, the two experiments together, I think really added up to what we learned overall. But they were good. I mean, they were a mess. They were. Oh man. Okay, but the bottom line is for people who are looking for base dealers, you don't have to be afraid of low speed. They will still have a very high stolen base percentage. It's the stolen base percentage is still driven just by the stealing ability. But until it's fixed, be aware that speed is going to cause more stolen base attempts. High speed is going to cause more stolen base attempts. That actually is going to impact how I draft. Now that's assuming that this issue carries over to perfect team, and that's not guaranteed. That's not a guarantee. It could be unrelated still, but I don't know. It feels like the kind of thing where if it's not set up in one, I doubt it would have gotten set up in the other. But who knows? And there's really no way for me to do experiments in perfect team right now. So, all right. Well, let's rate. Oh, first, let me see if anyone else is playing OTP. Do I have to check that out? Do we have any affiliates playing OTP? No. Of course, we're always the only ones still playing. Oh, we do have, unusually, Sarah Mahoney music is still on, but at 2+ hours, I think she's probably going to be raiding out soon. So I think the safer raid will be to raid Ophi tonight. We raided Tugi last night because I wanted to see his Wario Road to the Show player, who looks amazing, by the way. I wanted to see that player hopefully get called up to the majors out of spring training, but got denied by his team, and he was sent back to AAA despite hitting 348 during spring training. So felt bad for Chugi's trading play there. But tonight we'll raid Ophi, see what she's up to. I think working on the giant Zelda tapestry. Oh, speaking of Ophi, we have Speckle playing Low Ball Crater Ruster on Friday. Yeah, so I don't know what Vogelbach's rating is, but Ryan Klesko in PT25 had a high steer rating and low speed. You could have stolen with him all day. The speed would not have mattered. But yeah, anyone who has that profile. There are a couple of them in the game this cycle already, I noticed. But I can't. They don't come to mind as readily as like Ryan Klesko does. Oh, Ted Williams, I think, has a 90 steal rating and low speed. And I think I looked it up. He had like 3 steals and no caught stealing or something. So yeah, like Ted Williams 90 steal rating, you can steal with him. Doesn't matter what his speed is. Well, again, the big caveat is in base game that would be true. I can't say with certainty for Perfect Team because I don't have access to experiment in the Perfect Team game engine. So that's the big caveat for kind of translating or carrying this over into Perfect Team. But it does have, I would assume it has big implications for like anyone playing an online league, like Red Rock League or EMLB or PB Sim. Like if you're training up your player speed, be aware that means you're going to be stealing more. So if you don't have a good stolen base rating, you may not want to train up your speed because then you're going to get more caught stealings. So, or if you're choosing your player in Red Rock League out of the 3 options you get, if there's a high speed player with low stealing ability, you're going to be racking up some caught stealings. And I guess if it does turn out to hold true in Perfect Team, taking Ted Williams is fine, who has like 90 stealing and like, I don't know, some much lower speed. But what you don't want to take is those players with like the high speed and the low stealing. Because apparently, at least based on what's on the base game, it's going to override your slider for stealing aggressiveness and still run you into some cause stealings. Yeah, 50 speed, 90 steal, you can steal with him, and you can pick him up. No problem. But do you want to pick up a 90 speed, 50 steal guy? How much of those caught stealing is going to hurt you? I don't know. But I'm going to be thinking about that for sure. I don't know how much it'll change my drafting behavior, but I'll be thinking about it. And I'll probably notice more of those players, so I'll have more names to share with you, right? Like, instead of just Ryan Klesko all the time. But yeah, what a funny wrinkle to have discovered inadvertently. But again, I don't want to forget the main reason for this and the main message is low speed will not hurt your high stealing players' stealing ability. You can let them steal, you can draft them, you can, put them in your lineup. They will steal successfully. They just won't, apparently they won't steal as much. Okay, now this makes me wonder what other stuff I need to test like this. Like with Smiley Face James, like definitely made an impression. Like, yeah, what else is unplugged? who knows? If anyone has any suspicions, if you've seen stuff that you think maybe does seem unplugged, let me know. We'll figure out a way we can try to test it out. All right, well, we're going to go say hi to Ophi. She is a pixel artist living in Taiwan. Does cross stitching online, variety gaming as well, and just have a super fun stream and a really fun chat.